When we open up our Bibles to Matthew chapter 1, when we read all those names, it truly makes no sense to us, right? The genealogy of Jesus. But in the genealogy of Jesus, we will see something very striking that is not common in many genealogies of the Jews at the time of Jesus. Well, we will read in verse 3, it says there, and Judah, the father of Perez, and Zerah by Tamar. The woman's name is mentioned there. When we read in verse 5, it says, and Salmon, the father of Boaz by Rahab, and Boaz, the father of Obed by Ruth. We see women's names mentioned. Not just that, Rahab and Ruth were Gentiles. They were not people who were of Jewish origin, and yet their names are mentioned there. Further down, we will see that the mother of Solomon is also mentioned there. Come on, what does that speak to you and me? You see, God works in amazing ways. We can never pattern the ways of God. We can never figure out how God works and who He will use. According to the Jewish people, the lineage of the Messiah should have been pure, should have been spotless. But here we see the lineage of Jesus. We see the names of Rahab. We see the name of Ruth. And we also look at the sin of Bathsheba. It all speaks about something that the Jewish people would have never accepted. It speaks about the logical mind would have never thought that God would work through such women or through such people. But God did work. I want to tell you, God's work, you can never imagine it. You can never fathom whom He will use, how He will use. And that's why if you are a God seeker, God is not looking out for your qualifications. God is not looking out for your gifts and your abilities. He's only looking out for you if you are willing to yield to Him, if you're willing to do what He asks of you. And if you say yes to His plan, He will use you in an amazing way. You never know, the line or the generations to come through you will be how great and mighty that God will begin to use, that you would be so instrumental in the days to come. Rahab and Ruth may have never thought that through their line they would see the King David come forth, that through their line they would begin to see Jesus the Messiah come forth. But God used the simple, rejected people to bring forth great news, good news. I want to encourage you. Don't look at yourself. Don't look at how weak you are. Don't look at how incapable you are. Look upon God, because God can do mighty things through vessels that seem weak, through vessels that seem foolish, but who have yielded to Him, who are walking with Him. God can do amazing things. So I want to encourage you. Don't look down on yourself. Look upon the Lord and expect big things from God. God bless you.